Joe Biden doesn't even understand his own tax policy. In all seriousness, he keeps telling us, oh, taxes aren't going to go up for anybody making over, in his case, he says $400,000. He just seems to forget that sometimes you have two earners in a family. Imagine that. Listen to him here on ABC News with George Stephanopoulos.
Anybody making more than $400,000 will see a small to a significant tax increase. If you make less than $400,000, you won't see one single penny in additional federal tax.
And he's talking about families there. And of course, George Stephanopoulos, not understanding the policy enough, like most of the mainstream media, doesn't come back with, well, do you really mean individuals or families? Can we define this a little bit better? Let me tell you, he may say your taxes are not going up, but I guarantee you they're going up in some way, shape, or form. You cannot offer everything that he's offering in terms of this massive social spending effort, from free college to free childcare to healthcare credits to elderly care to you name it. You cannot offer this without somebody paying the price. The American taxpayer will pay the price. Anybody earning money will pay the price. One, through higher taxes. They're not going to be able to do this with this 400,000 job. It's not going to work. I can tell you that. I have spent 20 years studying the economy. It will not work. Do you know that when President Trump actually put in the tax cuts, both for corporations and for individuals, we saw the highest tax revenues in the history of this country? In other words, the United States of America got more money. The government got more money than they had ever gotten before, thanks to tax cuts. That's how it works. But Joe Biden doesn't want to understand that. I sometimes say to myself, does he know? He's got to know, right? I think he absolutely knows what he's doing. He knows that this policy makes no economic sense, but he doesn't care, because it's not about actually growing our economy. It's about helping all those people that he wants to help, the people he designates as needing the help. That's what it's about. So he's going to raise everyone's taxes in some pretty discriminatory ways. I mean, we saw the other day that Stephen Miller's American First Group is going after the Biden administration, suing and saying, wait a second, this is not constitutional. For example, you're giving help to Iowa farmers based on the color of their skin. That's not constitutional. So who's to say that, if you're of a certain color, then you pay more tax than somebody else? I mean, when you start talking about reparations and all the goodies that they're talking about, this starts getting into some very dangerous territory. But anyway, income taxes are going up. For sure, they want to charge companies more and small businesses more in the way of taxes, which is going to really be a squeeze on small business, which is the engine of the American economy. And then you got Brian Deese. Brian Deese, head of the National Economic Council, out there talking about, don't worry, we're not going to raise taxes on your investments unless you make more than $1 million a year. Here we go.
This change will affect taxpayers making more than $1 million a year. In 2018, 0.3% of tax filers made more than $1 million a year. We're talking about 0.3%. That's about 500,000 households in the country that we're talking about.
Wrong. Okay, he wants to go after 500,000 households. He's like, who cares about them? They're not voting for Biden anyway. But you know why that's so wrong? Because the minute you start taxing people's investments, guess what? People don't invest as much. This is not rocket science, right? Economics, the study of economics, needs to be pure. It needs to actually look at creating more wealth for every single American, as opposed to squeezing the wealth we have in an attempt to give it to someone else. Everyone will pay the price for this. We can't let it happen.